Welcome back, guys. We are going to... This may look a little bit different from last time. I'm kind of jumping files just for the sake of... I'm doing these things at two different locations, so it's getting interesting. This is where we pretty much left off at on the last video. If you have the textbook in front of you, we're on 3-23 on that last page of that chapter. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you do the little questions at the end of the book. That's kind of a waste of time, and mine too. So, all right. So we got the windows here. We just got to do a quick mirror. All right. What we need to do here is click Model Line, and we have to find a midpoint because we have to, of course, mirror these windows up to here. So I click Model Line, and then it brings up this little dialog box of different things that you can create in order to draw out and sketch out other objects. I'm trying to slow down in these videos, so I feel like I've gone a little fast in the first two. So I'm going to click Modify once again, and I'm going to click this little mirror tool right here, Mirror Pick Axis. This is a draw axis where you can just draw it instead of doing that line I did, but I'm just used to doing it this way. So, okay, so I'm going to click this, press Control, click on my windows, like so, press Enter, click the line, and they magically show up on the other side. Last thing I need to do, sorry, is to add tags to these. So I'm going to click on Annotate and Tag by Category. And you see here how it does these little windows like this. I believe there's another option too where you can go Tag All. This is working much better than on my other computer. And if I go Windows, Tag Windows, magically they show up. So typically I would like them on the outside, but I really don't care too much about that. If you would like to move them out, you're welcome to, because they may get in the way of other things, but fortunately I can't control their location as easily when you put them in there, so we'll leave that up to you. But I really don't care too much. The numbers do make a difference because based on different windows, these numbers don't matter. If you find your numbers are off, you can go in here and you can change your numbers if you wish, but that's not necessary. The last thing I noticed about this is a student pointed out yesterday how there is no door going into the elevator, which is kind of odd. So let's put in one. So let's go up to Architecture, excuse me, and Door. We're going to load Family. And typically that's a sliding door. If you wish to put in something else, that's fine, but let's just keep it simple. Residential is probably where I'm going to find a sliding door. Pocket, single, double flush, sliding. That will work. We may have to resize it. Let's go as small as possible. Let's go that 48 by 80. And let's see if this fits. Yep, that works good. So pop that in there. There we go. No tag on it, so we need to tag it. Tagging is important. That way you can reference it when you do your schedule. If you're not sure what a schedule is, that's an entire detailed layout of everything you did. I'm just going to tag by category right here. Drop this guy right. Oop. Nope, I guess I didn't like that. Tag doors. There we go. Hey, look, I did all the windows here too. These are under the door category, unfortunately, so it brings them up because they are kind of door windows. It's fine, just leave it the way it is. But I do want to drag them out so they're not right on top of them. Okay, we're done with that chapter. And now we're moving on to the next section. So Lesson 4. And here we're going to learn how to add levels, and we're going to add the interior walls. So this is very important if you ever need to add extra levels to your building. So we're going to go to elevation. It does not matter which one. I'm going to go with, let's go with the front of the building, which is south usually. And you see you have these little levels. These are called datums. The function of these is to be able to illustrate where your levels are at. I'm going to go with this one right here because I can see my level 1 and level 2. The one thing that always bugs me about these is when these things don't line up. So I like to bring these things out to where they are aligned and past the building. That's just a better practice. So here we go. We're going to go to Architecture. And on the very right hand side, you see where it says Datum. There's a grid and the levels here. So I'm going to go Level. And I'm going to bring it up. You can just eyeball this to 10 feet, draw it over, dump it, and you see over here in your browser that the level 3 pops right up. I'm going to do one more again. Dump this out here. This one, though, if you zoom in on it, you click on level 4. I always click slowly because otherwise it'll knock it down. Go roof. That's your roof. Yes. And all that does here is that changes the names here on the side. So I think I quickly just got you guys through about 3 pages. I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, you do some copy and pasting now. Go back to level 1, and what the book requires now is to copy some of these things up to the next levels. Okay, so the best way to copy these walls up, because I really don't feel like drawing this thing another 3 times, because in a commercial building a lot of things are very symmetrical, so which makes your life a little bit easier. Okay, click modify. If you're looking at my screen, please, here's how you do this. We're going to draw a selection box like so. Okay. You can click filter at times, and what that does is this allows you to be able to remove some items that you selected. So I'm going to remove the special equipment and the lines. I just don't need those. I'm going to press OK, and that will deselect those because I don't want the elevator twice. You're going to want to press Shift also and deselect these walls. If you choose these, what will happen is you're going to have 3 elevator shafts, and it just looks really awkward. So, okay, so you've got those selected. You want the door here, which is fine, because you got to keep that on all 3 floors, because you want to have an elevator door on all the floors. Copy to clipboard is right here. It's right underneath the scissors. It's under the Modify tab. So I click this. This little paste box will pop up. Now, you have 2 options here. A, you can go align to select views, and this will bring up a dialog box where I can choose my views. So I'm going to go level 2 and press OK. And if I look at my level 2 now, there's my stuff. Okay? We're going to do the same thing now for level 3. The other way to do this is if I click on level 3, I see my stuff. That door slipped the wrong way. I'll fix it later. If I go paste, I can also click on align to current view, and that will pop it in like so. So, really nice feature. Actually, it's this door that's wrong. Flip that the right way. There we go. Okay. You may also be asking yourself, okay, it's really annoying because I can see the other floors, and typically you don't want that. So, in your properties menu, if you scroll down to what's called the underlay, this is a way to turn that off and on. So I go none, and now I can't see the other floors. So now, if I click on other floors, you see here how I can still see the other floors. If I flip my door, I can still see that. So I'm a fan of turning those off, because otherwise you just see a little bit too much. Advise that, not a must, but that's just my own preference. So, okay, especially when you start drawing a lot of complex walls, it gets kind of annoying. All right, that's done. Good job on that one. The last thing I want to do here, look at the top of your screen, and I want you to click on this little house. What this does is this gives you a nice little 3D view of what you've done so far. The reason why I brought this up is I want to correct these wall heights, because I want them just to go up to the roof, and right now they're going up a little bit too high. You also can do the same thing on these 2 if you choose to, but this should fix your problem. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this wall, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to select all the instances in the entire project, which should select all your outside walls, and lo and behold, it did. So I'm going to click on my top constraint, I'm going to change that to roof, and that will bring that down. I'm also going to do the same thing here with these 2, and then my curtain windows in the front, when I'm pressing Control, and just change those to all the height that I need to be. Done. Okay, now everything should be leveled up. You're good. The last thing is, of course, I need to fix these little things right here, and I want to do this before I get to the roof, which will be in a chapter or 2. So, The book doesn't call for you to do this. This is my choice. The elevator you're stuck with is just the way it is, so don't worry about it. But, you know, it's looking pretty decent. If you would like to also, if you look at the bottom of your screen too, you see this little visual styles box. If you click that and go to realistic, it'll, of course, look more realistic once it loads. And you'll start to see some colors and textures. So far, this is what you do have. And we'll get the windows up here shortly. It's not that big of a deal yet. So, I am going to now start the interior walls. So, it's much easier if you just want to look at your book for this one than to probably follow me, but if you're just watching this and you don't have the book in front of you, then you may want to follow me on this one. So, we're going to do this a little bit differently than what I've done in the past. Okay, so here we roll. Alright, so I'm going to click on Architecture and Walls. All of your interior walls are going to be this 4 7/8 partition, if you're wondering what that means. If you click on Edit Type, and you go to the Edit Structure button, it's a 5/8 inch gypsum with a metal stud. If you click Preview, you actually get a nice little view of what the wall actually looks like, so if you ever had to add anything to it. I'm just showing you that. Click Architecture, Walls. Alright. I am going to have the line lock this time on center line because that's how they dimension. I'm typically not a fan of that, but that's what the book calls for, so I'm trying to stick to it. Sketch first, worry about exact measurements later. So I'm just going to draw a line straight across here, and then it calls for a line about right here, and a line about right here. And you can actually, it will give me the measurements from like center line to center line, which is what I want. I know this one is 10/6. There we go. I'm going to click this, and this will give me a temporary measurement, which is fine, but I don't want it here. I want it on the inside wall. So you can either dimension these out, or if you click this thing right here, this will automatically make your measurements permanent, and then if I click this dot, it'll bump it in, which is where I want the measurements at. So this guy here, I'm going to lock because I don't want to change him. I'm not necessarily a fan of locking measurements, but in this case it works. And this one's 14 feet, and as you see here, that doesn't change that. This wall should actually be aligned with this wall right here. So I drew it in a really horrible spot. So I'm going to click Modify. I'm going to click Align. Wall faces is fine. Click this, and I did the wrong one the wrong time. Click the bottom one, click that one, and it bumps the wall down there, and that's where I want this at. Architecture again, walls, there's this little notch right here. It goes down 6, so in this case, I'm just going to dump it right here, which I will need measurement over. Okay, add your dimension to it. Save project when it prompts you to. And these call for center line measurements, unfortunately, so I have to change my placement. If you end up doing faces, it's fine, it's not a big deal. So that and this, so this one should be 6, and this one should be 4. Okay. I have to remove this wall right here. Here's the best way to do this. If I click Modify, there's a split tool right here. The way I like to do this is I'll click right here, which will split this wall up into 2. I'll press Escape, and then this is a Trim and Extend corner. The nice thing about this, it's a quick way around your corners if you need to, but you can't do it unless you split it, because otherwise you're going to lose this up here. So make sure that you do that. Last thing I'm going to do, then I'm going to stop the video because I'm almost out of time here. Click Architecture and Door, and I just want the same door that I'm using on the other ones, which is this, I don't know, we'll just go single flush on this one. If you want to use a different door, it's fine. I really don't care too much about what door you guys end up using on these, as long as they're all consistent. So, there we go. Door's in there. It should be 6 inches from the wall, so make sure you have it in the right placement, because that does matter. I'm going to change this to faces. There you go.